Cypress trees are one of the few deciduous gymnosperms. That means they lose their needles in the winter. The wood of cypress trees is prized for being rot resistant, and cypress trees can be very long-lived and grow really, really big. The record for that was previously held by a cypress named the Senator that was growing in Florida, and it had a diameter of 17.5 feet and was estimated to be 3,500 years old. I actually got to see that tree. It was incredibly impressive, and unfortunately ended up burning down in 2012. Cypress trees are one of the few species in our region that can withstand frequent standing water, sometimes for months at a time, and that would drown the roots of most other trees. In fact, they depend on water for their dispersal. As conifers, the trees produce both male and female cones. The male cones are produced in late winter and early spring, and they look like hanging tassels. You can see this tree is already starting to get some of those. And the female cones look like green gumballs that turn brown and break apart into segments as they mature. Those cones float, so they disperse during winter floods, but then when the swamp begins to dry out in the summer, the seeds hit the ground and germinate in the mud. Quite a few wildlife species, like wild turkeys and wood ducks, feed on those seeds. Of course, one of the distinctive features of cypress trees is the knees. Some people mistakenly think the knees will grow into a new tree, but they're actually just extensions of the tree's roots. They have multiple possible functions. One might be to act as a snorkel, helping the tree's roots to breathe in the waterlogged, swampy soils where cypress trees are found. Given that cypress trees planted in dry areas don't grow knees, and that the knees are typically about as tall as the average floodwater, this is a good possibility. The knees may also provide stability in the saturated, unstable soils, or could potentially be a place for the tree to store nutrients. Depending on which field guide you consult, there are either one or two native cypress species. Some consider bald cypress and pond cypress completely separate, and other people consider them variations. Regardless, there's a few differences. Pond cypress has needles that are oppressed to the central stem and is found in isolated wetlands, while bald cypress has needles that spread perpendicular from the stem and is associated with river systems. But both thrive in the wetlands of the Lowcountry.